Hello, my name is Andy, and I am the village idiot. And I'm armed with a car and a GoPro, and an unhealthy amount of time on my hands. Welcome back to a rainy this morning district of Selby. Now, I'm actually in Tadcaster to start this one off. I'm on a road called Turnpike Road at the very far eastern end of the town, and it leads to the A659, which is this road here. And I'm about to begin this one by turning left onto the A659 in the car and head this way towards the A64. And the A64 is about the only road, the only major road at least, that you'll find in this parish. It's very small, it's got a population of 27, and there's not really much to film. It's going to be a very short video. Welcome to Steeton. Steeton is a civil parish about 6 miles from York in the Selby district of the county of North Yorkshire. It lies on the A64 between Tadcaster and York, close to Bilbrough Top services, which are not in the parish boundaries. We start this video off by driving along the A64 from Tadcaster, heading in a northeasterly direction towards a road called the Old Street, which is off to the left. In 2001, the parish had a population of just 27. Its boundaries touch Appleton Roebuck, Bilborough, Bolton Percy, Catterton, Colton, Oxton and Tadcaster. It's one of those places which you would barely know the existence of, and there's a good reason for that. You see, the modern day Steeton is nothing like what it once was. Within the modern day boundaries is a deserted medieval village that was thought to have been depopulated except for the Fairfax family by about 1485. The remains of the centre of the village were destroyed in the early 16th century by the construction of a pond. There are no visible remains. Steeton was formerly a township in the parish of Bolton Percy until in 1866 it became a civil parish in its own right. Steeton is the modern day form of Stubton, which it was once called. It means tree stump farm or settlement. It was recorded in the Domesday Book as Stewarton, Stewitone or Stewitoon. Despite its small size and scattered nature, this, after all, is generally just isolated buildings on farm tracks in an area around the A64, there are still 4 listed buildings. After arriving at the Old Street, which by the way is only partially within the boundaries, I had a short walk along the A64. What I found was quite interesting. Steeton stands on the Ebor Way, which is a long-distance walking route we'll meet a few times in this area. The small handful of houses of the A64 here are still served by buses. There are 2 in fact, the 840 and the 843 coastliner services. Here's the Old Street. The houses you can see here are not within Steeton, they belong, theoretically speaking, to Bilborough. The area is known as street houses. This is the ideal time to talk about the A64. We'll meet this a few times as well in future episodes. It links Leeds, York and Scarborough, starting as the A64M Ring Road motorway in Leeds. Towards York it becomes a high-quality dual carriageway until it's east of York, where it becomes a single carriageway for most of its route to Scarborough. To say Steeton has no amenities would be almost right were it not for Agra, which is located on the A64 on the westbound side. This is a contemporary chain restaurant serving traditional regional dishes from India and Pakistan, and it operates a takeaway service. There are a few houses on this side of the road, and yes, they do belong to Steeton. The other main area of population is around Steeton Hall, which we'll get to shortly. Next to these we also have this. I can find no information at all about this green top building, so this one will remain a mystery unless anyone out there knows what it is or was. With such a small population, there's no demographics to give you for this one. Steeton's population and demographic information is bound together with neighbouring Colton. I've got to tell you, crossing the A64 is not recommended. Even though there's a footpath here where you can cross from one side to the other, it's such a busy road. Definitely not recommended. Despite the presence of the A64, this remains a rural area and farm traffic does use this road. In the UK, farm traffic cannot use motorways, but the A64 is not classified as one. So then we're off to Steeton Hall, which requires us to leave the parish boundaries and go into Bilborough and then Colton. Steeton Hall is situated on a dead-end road to the south of the A64, and the only way to get to it is to drive through Bilbrough Parish and around Bilbrough Top services. That's what I'm doing here, even though you can't really see them. Even so, this is the ideal time to mention the services. The new Bilbrough Top Flyover, which I'm driving over, opened in February 2005. The old direct access to a former Little Chef was closed and replaced by a link road running through the newer service area and through an abandoned car park. The new link road includes a number of unused farm accesses, suggesting there's an aspiration to develop more of the land here. The new flyover created a new era for the facilities here, as they were now much safer to access, especially when travelling east. The old Little Chef became Tritton's Fish and Chips in 2009, followed by Scott's Fish and Chips in 2014, which closed in 2020. Now we're on Colton Lane, heading southwards towards both Colton and Steeton Lane, which is the road we're needing here to access Steeton Hall. Steeton Hall was a manor house built for Sir Guy Fairfax in around 1474. By 1558, when there was an inventory made of the property of the late Sir William Fairfax, his hall had a chapel, 9 bedrooms, 2 studies, a hall and a parlour. At the beginning of the 18th century, the hall was partly demolished, leaving the range that is still in use as a farmhouse. In 1873, the chapel was also demolished. A private chapel, it was supposedly consecrated by Archbishop Rotherham in 1477. Much of the stone was reused after demolition to build the south side of Bilborough Church. Now here at Steeton Hall, the public road comes to an end. I can go no further than this gate, driving wise. However, you can, it looks like, go on foot, because this looks like a public footpath. Although, don't quote me on that, because even though these arrows look like they should mean for public footpath, there's no actual public footpath sort of signage, if you like. So don't quote me on that, but I would assume that's what that means. There's a style that usually gives it away. But there is Steeton Hall anyway, the other sort of centre of population, if you want to call it a centre of population, here in Steeton Parish, with a population of 27. It's not a very big population at all, is it? There's no picture bits and there's no Strava map either today, for obvious reasons, because, you know, what am I going to show you? There's nothing much more to show you than what I actually have. And there you have it. That's the parish of Steeton, and I've been Andy, also known as the Village Idiot, and I'm out.